Hi there, thanks for joining us for another exciting episode of Sports Pizza. My name is Hadeni Farano. There's a lot to talk about on the show today, from tennis to Formula One and of course football, talking about the king of all sports. We start from the local scene where we have lots and lots to talk about, talking about the continent of Africa. The Under-20 AFCON ended this past week, and also we have stories from Europe talking about England, Spain, Italy and Germany. You definitely want to stick around. We'll go on a very, very quick break. When we get back, we'll be serving you all the stories. Be right back. Glad to have you guys join us back. So let's get into the stories, and let's tell you that former world number one, who is currently world number 9, talking about Spaniard Rafael Nadal, is back on the tennis court, not playing competitive tennis game right now, but is back in training, trying to get set for the clay season. And talking about the clay season, you know the favorite for Rafael Nadal, the Roland Garros, the French Open, is definitely training for that particular one. He last played at the first Grand Slam of the year, talking about the Australian Open, where he was knocked out in the 4th round. But so many people felt that, yeah, he was knocked out of that game because of his leg injury. He has only played 4 tennis games this year, and that is why he finds himself in the world number 9. Well, I thought he would have moved, below that particular position. But according to the report that we saw over the weekend with Rafael Nadal in training, he's definitely getting set for the clay season. Maybe take part in some few ATP games, and to get set for the second Grand Slam of the year, which is the French Open called the Roland Garros. Yeah, talking about ATP tours, a lot is going on right now in the world of tennis. The Indian Wells is currently on, and a lot of big names are in the news, and they are playing very well. A lot of upset is not happening because the big names are definitely pushing through to the next round. I'm talking about a big name. Yeah, you still want to call him a big name. Andy Murray, he is through to the 3rd round. Yeah, the 3rd round of the Indian Wells, and he'll be taking on fellow British tennis player, talking about Jack Draper. Jack Draper also made it to the 3rd round. Andy Murray had to win 2 straight sets, against Moldova. Albert and Murray won 6-4, 6-3 in that particular encounter to set up a 3rd round clash against Jack Draper. So whatever happens, the British will still be having another tennis player in the next round of the Indian Wells. Talking about the usual suspect making it to the next round, Dan Medvedev also made it to the next round, winning 6-4, 6-3 against Nakashima. That name you think is from a Japanese, but Nakashima represents the United States of America. Another big name also made it to the next round, talking about Alexander Zverev. Defeated Kachin Pedro 6-3, 6-1 to make it also to the next round. On the flip side, talking about the female category, the usual suspects are also doing their bit, to make sure that they progress at the Indian Wells. Iga Swiatek won 6-0, 6-1 against Liu Chan from United States of America. 6-0, 6-1. That ended. Another female tennis player also made a return back from injury at the Indian Wells, and she has been able to make sure that her name is still in the competition. Talking about British Emma Raducanu, who made it to the 3rd round of the Indian Wells as well, beating Magda Linette from she defeated Magda Linette 7-6, 6-2. So that's that regarding the tennis news. Talking about Rafael Nadal back from injury, and the usual suspect making it to the 3rd round of the Indian Wells. We'll keep our eyes on that particular tournament, and of course bringing news regarding that. So moving away from that, a bit of good news regarding Nigeria this morning, talking about the track and field, where we have Favour Ofilli, Favour Ofilli, doing the country proud in the United States of America, New Mexico to be precise, at the indoor NCAA tournament, talking about an indoor tournament. Favour Ofilli ran 22.11 seconds at the 200-meter race, 22.11 seconds at the 200-meter race, and that gives her a very, very, very big recognition in the world of sport. The race gave her a bit of recognition in the world of track and field, of course, in the world of sport. Not that we don't know Favour Ofilli, but the time she ran, talking about 22.11 seconds, is the 4th fastest in the history of 200 meters. Also the fastest in 2023, the fastest woman in 2023 currently, because we are still in the month of March, but Favour Ofilli is already serving us fireworks, right, with the world of track and field. So big congratulations to Favour Ofilli for setting that record. So moving away from athletics, but sticking with other sports, let's tell you that Lewis Hamilton and Toto Wolff and the world of Mercedes, they are currently not happy at this particular moment. Lewis Hamilton, if you could recall, did not end on the podium a couple of weeks back, at the first Grand Prix of the year in the world of Formula One, as Mercedes did not finish on the podium, and not a good news. And Lewis Hamilton came out to say Mercedes ignored all the concerns, all the instructions he gave them regarding his car, going into this season of Formula One. And he told them that, hey, you need to fix this, you need to fix this. I am the driver. I have been driving for so long to know when something is not right with my car. But according to a report, Mercedes ignored all those advice from Lewis Hamilton, and they paid dearly for it with a very, very disastrous start to the world of Formula One, to the 2023 Formula One season. And the manager, talking about Toto Wolff, described the Bahrain Grand Prix that happened a couple of weeks back as a very, very terrible race, that the worst he has seen in his life in the world. And hopefully they will find a way to adjust the car for Lewis Hamilton so that he doesn't get to complain again about his car. So that's that regarding other sports this morning. Moving away from that, let's move to football, because the king of all sports, and tell you that Senegal, they are cooking. Yeah, they are really, really cooking right now in the world of football, because over the weekend they won the under-20 AFCON, in Egypt, talking about Cairo, Egypt. They won the under-20 AFCON by beating Gambia 2-0 in the final of that particular encounter. So right now, Senegal, they hold the AFCON trophy, talking about the senior men international tournament in Africa. They also hold the CHAN tournament, talking about tournament for players that are based in Africa. They also hold the title for the beach soccer, the male category. And now they've added the under-20 tournament to it. If you're from Senegal, you are definitely eating good at this particular moment. Same cannot be said about Nigerian football. And the Flying Eagles, they failed to make it to the final of the under-20 after they lost to the team that came second, talking about Gambia. But something to smile about Nigerian football, talking about the under-20, they won the bronze medal against Tunisia over the weekend. They're talking about golden bronze. That is what we give our bronze medal in Nigeria. But on the flip side, the Flying Eagles, they are true to the World Cup. They will be representing Africa alongside Senegal, Tunisia, and Gambia at the under-20 World Cup in Indonesia later this month. But the big question right now is, what can Ladan Boso do to these boys? Because from what we saw at the under-20 tournament, the Flying Eagles did not impress us at all. I don't know about you, but I'm very sure they didn't impress me at all. So what can Ladan Boso do differently to make sure that the boys go far at the under-20 tournament? We've not won the under-20 World Cup. Yeah, we've not won. The closest that we've come, the last time I recall was in 2005, when the likes of John Obi Mikel, Chinedu Obasi Obuke, Oweri, and the likes, Tai Taiwo, made it to the final, but they were beaten by Argentina in 2005. Yeah, Lionel Messi inspiring Argentina to that particular victory. So maybe Ladan Boso boys can go a step further by winning the tournament in Indonesia. That is left to be seen. But on the back of what we saw at the under-20 Nations Cup, you don't want to bet against the Flying Eagles winning. You don't want to bet on the Flying Eagles, winning the under-20 tournament in Indonesia. So congratulations to Senegal once again for doing, the players from Senegal for doing their country proud. I'm very sure they have smiles on their face right now. So moving away from that, let's go on the international scene, but still sticking with the continent of Africa, and tell you that Mamelodi Sundowns took Al Ahly of Egypt to the cleaners over the weekend in the CAF Champions League. Yeah, in the CAF Champions League. Mamelodi Sundowns became the second team. As a matter of fact, they are the only team to have scored 5 goals against Al Ahly of Egypt in CAF competition, talking about CAF Champions League. The last time it happened, also they defeated Ofilli at 5-3 thereabouts in CAF Champions League, and over the weekend they did that again, but this time around they were able to restrict the Egyptians to just 2 goals in their encounter. 5-2, it ended in favor of Mamelodi Sundowns. They are in red hot form right now, both on the local scene and of course on the international scene, talking about the CAF Champions League. You don't want to bet against Mamelodi Sundowns winning the CAF Champions League this year, but they have the defending champion, talking about Wydad Casablanca from Morocco, to contend with, if they want to win this tournament, because Wydad also won away from home against Petro Luanda from Angola 2 goals to nothing. So Wydad Casablanca telling Mamelodi Sundowns, whatever you can do, I can also do. Maybe even do it better than you. I'll keep our fingers crossed and see what can happen. I'm still waiting for the day that Nigeria will get back, talking about our club football, we get back to the summit of continental competition, talking about CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup. And talking about CAF Confederation Cup, Rivers United made it 3 wins in a row last week when they defeated Motema Pembe, 3-1 at the Nest of Champions in Akwa Ibom. They are not playing in Port Harcourt, but instead they are playing in Akwa Ibom because CAF did not allow them to use their own stadium. Of course, they use their home stadium in the league, but when it comes to continental games, they play at the Nest of Champions. But it doesn't feel like it's away from home that they are playing. Of course, they are still playing in Nigeria, so that feels like home for Rivers United. We're keeping our fingers crossed to see if Rivers United can lift the CAF Confederation Cup this year. The last time a team from Nigeria actually won CAF competition was Enyimba when they had the likes of Dele Ayinugba, Vincent Enyama, Obinna Nwaneri, and of course they had a sport-loving governor talking about Orji Uzor Kalu bankrolling the team back then. That was the last time a team from Nigeria actually won CAF competition, talking about club competition. They won the Champions League back-to-back. And let's see if Rivers United can win the CAF Confederation Cup this year. Just like I said earlier on, I'm still waiting for the day that Nigeria team will be dominating. Nigerian teams will be dominating, CAF club competitions. I'm keeping my finger crossed for that particular one. So moving away from that, let's go on a very, very quick break. And when we come back, we'll be moving to Europe, where we have news regarding Arsenal and Manchester United. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sports Pizza. I'm very sure you've enjoyed the first half of the show. And of course, if you missed the first half, do well to catch up all the exciting news on our social media platform across YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So let's dive into the second half of the show and tell you that Arsenal beat Fulham 3-0 over the weekend at Craven Cottage, away from home, and it was a very, very impressive victory for Arsenal. Leandro Trossard, the guy that was signed from Brighton, gave Arsenal 3 assists in that game, but 3 different goal scorers, contributed, to Arsenal winning that particular game. Talking about Gabriel Magalhaes, who is a defender. A very, very impressive victory for Arsenal, because that still puts them 5 points ahead of Manchester City in the race for the Premier League title with 11 games left to play. Also, it was the 100th victory for Mikel Arteta as manager of Arsenal. A very, very good milestone victory for the manager, because the 3 goals were scored by Gabriel Magalhaes, who is a defender, Gabriel Martinelli, a striker, and Martin Odegaard, the midfielder, who is the captain of the club. But 3 assists provided by Leandro Trossard, the guy that was signed from Brighton in the January transfer window. Same cannot be said of Manchester United, who failed to win again in the Premier League. Last weekend they lost against Liverpool 7-0, and this time around they drew goalless at home against Southampton. The job to win the game was made difficult by the fact that Casemiro, their defensive midfielder, was sent off in that particular game. A bit of controversial decision from the referee, talking about Anthony Taylor. And talking about Anthony Taylor, United fans are definitely not happy with his officiating. They were not happy with his officiating in the game, because they felt they should have had 1 or 2 penalties in that particular game. But Southampton also should feel a bit aggrieved that they should have won that game, because they had a lot of chances to win that game, but they fluffed their chances. I mean, that's what football is all about. If you don't take your chance, you're definitely going to pay dearly for it. But this time around, Southampton did not pay dearly for it, because United did not win, so they both shared the spoils in that particular game. And talking about sharing the spoils, City made sure they didn't share the spoils with Crystal Palace, and they kept up the pace with Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table after the 1-1 away from home at Selhurst Park. Yeah, they defeated Crystal Palace 1-0. All in Ireland, scoring his 28th goal in the Premier League this season. It's 28 goal in the Premier League this season. A penalty, you say, but then again, the very, very important penalty and a very, very important 3 points for Man City in the race for the Premier League title. Talking about Robin Hood, robbing from the rich and giving it to the poor. My Liverpool, made sure that happened over the weekend when they lost away from home at the Vitality Stadium against Bournemouth. 1-0. It ended in favour of the home team. Liverpool, we thought they are rejuvenated. We thought they are going to make a shout for the top 4. But if you want to make it to the top 4, you have to win games like this. Talking about the Bournemouth game. But Liverpool lost that particular game. And guess what? They could have drawn that game if only Mohamed Salah had scored the penalty that was awarded to Liverpool. But Mohamed Salah missed that penalty. Not a good day at the office for Liverpool. It was not a good day for them at all. Talking about someone having a good day at the office, Chelsea won 3-1 away from home against Leicester City. Modric is still waiting for his first goal in Chelsea colours, but he got an assist in that particular game, assisting Mateo Kovacic for that wonderful third goal that definitely sealed the game for Chelsea. So that's 3 games in a row that Chelsea have won. Last weekend, they won against Leeds United at home, and in the Champions League, they won against Borussia Dortmund 2-0, and against Leicester, they won 3-1. That means Graham Potter gets to keep his job at least for another week or 2 weeks. But Chelsea fans are not buying what Graham Potter is doing now, and they feel like he's scamming them by winning those 3 games. Well, we keep our fingers crossed and we'll keep our eyes fixed on Chelsea and see what they can do before the end of the season. Arsenal, just like I said earlier on, they are still top of the league with 5 points ahead of Manchester City with 11 games left in the season. So moving away from that, let's go to Spain, where it's not so good for Barcelona right now. Yeah, they are winning and they are top of the Spanish La Liga table, 9 points ahead of Real Madrid, and they've played 25 games, 13 games left to go. Yes, Barcelona won away from home over the weekend against Athletic Club, 1-0 at the San Mamés Stadium. Yeah, Barcelona won that particular one. Real Madrid also made sure that they won their game against Espanyol, 3-1 intended at the Santiago Bernabeu in favor of the home team, even though they had to come from behind to win that particular goal. Talking about Eder Militao, Vinicius Junior and Marco Asensio scoring the 3 goals for Real Madrid. 9 points separate both teams. Talking about Barcelona at the top of the league and Real Madrid closely following them, and 25 games left to play in the season. I beg your pardon, 25 games have been played so far in the season, so that's 13 games left to be played in the Spanish La Liga. But the biggest news over the weekend in the Spanish La Liga is Barcelona are in the spotlight again for the wrong reason. There's a name being thrown around talking about Jose Maria Enrique Negreira and his company, according to reports, were paid 8.4 million euros by Barcelona to make sure officiating go in their way. Cast your mind back to when Juventus were accused of bribing referee in the Italian Serie A, and they were relegated to the Serie B that particular year, talking about the year 2006-07 thereabouts, in the Italian Serie A. With the same thing be happening to Barcelona, well, the case is in court right now, and 2 names have been thrown around, talking about former Barcelona president Jose Maria Bartomeu. Yeah, is also in the news regarding that he was part of the team that paid the former referee, talking about former referee advisor in Spain, talking about Jose Maria Enrique Negreira. He paid his company 8.4 million to make sure officiating go in the way of Barcelona. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed and see what will happen in that particular encounter. The case is in court already. So moving away from that, let's touch base with Germany, where we have a title race in our hand, talking about Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. But Borussia Dortmund faltered over the weekend when they dropped points away from home against Schalke for 2-2. It ended, for both teams, and that puts them 2 points behind Bayern, who won 5-3 against Augsburg at home. 24 games has been played in the Bundesliga, and I think it remains 12 games left to be played in the Bundesliga. Will Bayern be able to keep Borussia Dortmund at bay in the league? That is left to be seen. Bayern are the defending champions, so you definitely want to fancy them winning this particular one. Borussia Dortmund, would they be able to make that number back? That is left to be seen. But it's looking likely that Bayern are going to retain their title that they won last season this time around. Just like I said, 12 games left to be played in the Bundesliga, and Bayern are topping that particular league with 2 points. Finally, let's talk about the Italian Serie A, where Napoli are running away with the league again after they won 2-0 at home over the weekend against Atalanta. 2-0. Yeah, both goals were scored in the second half of that particular encounter. And their closest rival, talking about the Inter Milan, faltered again when they lost 2-1 away from home against Spezia. Yeah, Spezia defeated Inter Milan 2-1. That puts them 18 points behind Napoli, 18 points behind Napoli after 26 games. With 12 games left, I don't think Napoli are going to lose 6 games in the Italian Serie A. I don't think that is going to happen this time around, because we've seen over the course of the season that they are a very, very formidable team. Farasteria, Victor Osimhen, and a lot of players, contributing their quota to making sure that Napoli are a step closer to winning their first Scudetto title since 1990. Yeah, 33 years ago, that was the last time Napoli lifted the Italian Serie A title, and they are getting closer every day. And that's a big congratulations to Napoli. Well, I can actually tell them that congratulations in advance for winning the Italian Serie A. I'm very sure you enjoyed that particular play of the week from us, and that's just like I said, that's all we can take today on the show. But then again, you do well to follow us on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen, and also send us a message on our email. We'll be glad to take all those messages, and we'll be glad if you can follow us so we can increase our presence on social media. My name is Hadeni Falana. Till we'll come away again next week. Bye for now.